Hi class, welcome to IS460 and 560 Project Management, Chapter 9. I'm Professor Fahmi Jalani. So today we'll be covering on project scheduling, which will be also talking about networks, duration, estimation, and also critical path. So when we talk about project scheduling, okay, consists of things like successor, predecessor, network diagram, serial activity, and concurrent activity. So in project scheduling terms, successor would mean like somebody continuing the project in phases, for example, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Predecessor referring to the previous staff or people who are executing the project and handing it over to another guy or person. Then we have network diagram showing the overall project progress, series of activity could be break down into what are the action to be done, and and also followed by concurrent activity, which explain itself. Other than that, they do have things like merge activity, where in this case, for example, node D shows merge activity after completing B and C. Could be assembly of a car, for example, with the engine, the body, and lastly the tires, the wheels, for example. And we have the reverse, which is burst activity. Okay. For example, in programming, once they have done the main program and they need other files, for example, object, for example, you are doing a program for ATM, and you have the main program, and then we divide it into the checking account, saving account, and fixed account, and other so on. Right? So here we have the nodes, okay, and the arrows will show the path. Okay. Critical path is technically, which is, for example, the shortest path that they will take, which we will cover later on. It could be days, cost. Next, take a look at network diagrams. Okay. The diagram shows few things. For example, show interdependence. Okay. For example, facilitate communication. Okay. From there, it will help to schedule resources in the project, and when is the completion, what's the critical activity, and start to finish. So next we take a look at activity on arc and activity on nodes. Okay. So in blue here we see activity on arc. Here it shows how the activity flows, where there is an sub activity, for example, before completing this, which basically look like an arc, okay, for completion. And here are nodes, okay, where they are divided, and then there are the sub activity prior merging. What's the labels on nodes? Okay. We have the start, early start, for example, early finish, what's the ID number, activity float, what's the description, date start, date finish, and duration. Usually these are some of the information that will appear on the notes. Following on, we have duration. This is basically pretty much FYI. Okay, to estimate the method, we have from past experience. Okay, project manager would have, for example, experience on past project, okay, and also opinion from expert. So the mathematical derivative, okay, we have most likely, most pessimist and most optimist. Okay, and you have activity variance, where all the elements are being brought in together. Okay, and also duration. So we will skip the next part. This is basically an activity that we have to carry out. Based on the formula, previous formula, we will draft out the notes. But then we have to move on constructing the critical path. Okay. In constructing a critical path, we have things like forward pass, which is basically an additive move. Okay, a project could, for example, shorten the time completion by increasing, for example, the manpower. Okay, backward pass, okay, subtractive move. Okay, from finish to start is basically the reverse. Okay, rather than you already have the completed node, for example, the days, but then certain things come out and you have to remove certain manpower, certain item from the, and that is subtracting move. Critical path, the longest path from end to end, which determine the shortest project time. Okay. So next, some rules, and this is basically for FYI again. Forward pass, we have ES and EF. Okay. So estimated start plus duration, so estimated finish, and so multiplication and finish start by is equal to estimated start of successor. Okay, so this is referring to previous project, for example. Okay, so the largest preceding EF is to merge between comes estimated finish for successor. Okay, same thing for backward pass, is basically the formula last start and last finish. Okay, so last finish, if you subtract from duration, you get last start. Okay, same thing for successor and predecessor. And smaller success, last start, okay, burst for last finish. Right. And the next slide we will skip. This is basically to sketch a network. You can do this if you have time. Right. So rather than we do that, we take a look at the next diagram. It's basically a laddering activity. So over here we have project A, B, C. That is indicated with the days, right? And in total we have 18 days. Right? And below in red is a ladder activity, where you have activity A, B, and C, right? In total of 12 days. The difference is technically it could be the activity given to different people. In this case, could be one person doing it for 3 days. We have 3 person doing for different section and require 1 day. So it reduces the days. Okay. Next, we have also hammock activity. So this is more on a complex project, okay, on a shared budget, right? So in this case, this is basically the notes and number of days, okay, and you will get the total at the end. So how do we reduce critical path? Right. So one of the point is to eliminate the task. So the less things you need to do, you will eliminate only the task, also the time. Okay. So if possible, try to create a convert serial path to parallel. We saw earlier the blue and the red. So the more path, the faster it will be done. For example, the more people. Okay. Overlap sequential. For example, a person could do multitask. For example, shorten duration. Sometimes through experience, rather than doing for 10 days, project could be certain project subtasks could be completed in 8 days, for example, and other things like shorter early tasks, longer tasks, easier tasks, okay, and cost. Right. So that's pretty much it for chapter 9. If you have any question, please feel free to email me, and also stay safe. Thanks, bye.